Israel's Supreme Court has ruled on a law mandating the conscription of ultra-Orthodox Jewish men into the military. The move appears to be threatening the stability of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition. Leaders of two ultra-Orthodox parties opposed the ruling, but issued no immediate threat to the government. The issue has been a long-standing source of friction with more secular citizens. It's been further stoked by the country's costly mobilisation for the war in Gaza. Opposition lawmakers have called the exemptions unfair and insulting to other Israelis. On the ground in Gaza, families of victims are reeling from the aftermath of 3 separate airstrikes carried out by Israeli forces, targeting schools and refugee camps. At least 24 Palestinians were killed, 10 were relatives of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh. Hamas says the attacks intentionally targeted innocent civilians, urging both Washington and the United Nations to hold Israeli forces accountable for their crimes. On the diplomatic front, German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock says her country will be sending $20 million worth of aid to the enclave. Ms. Baerbock is in Jerusalem to discuss ongoing tensions in the Middle East. She's accusing Israel of stirring up trouble, urging Tel Aviv to end its, quote, aggressive settler policy. The announcement comes amid a worsening hunger crisis in Gaza. An IPC report says 1 in 5 Palestinians is suffering from the highest level of malnutrition. And Sarah Coates joins us live from Tel Aviv. Sarah, with the war in Gaza still raging, with the reversal of Israeli enlistment law, would that sow further discord within the Netanyahu government?
Hello there, Wei-Su. Well, this is certainly a major break in a very long-standing, divisive agreement. And yes, it definitely threatens Benjamin Netanyahu, who relies on these two ultra-Orthodox parties to keep him in power. And these are parties who strongly oppose the enlistment of ultra-Orthodox students. Now, we've heard from one of these ultra-Orthodox ministers, this is the Minister of Housing. He came out to say that, as expected, a very unfortunate, disappointing decision. He went on to say that the State of Israel was established in order to be a home for the Jewish people whose Torah is in the bedrock of its existence. Now, on the other side, we've also heard from the opposition. Its leader, Yair Lapid, is now calling on the government to immediately begin a mass draft of these ultra-Orthodox students. But as I said, it's been a very divisive issue here in Israel, and it's really been rearing its head over the past few months as more and more people are called up into the Israeli military to serve. Many people here on the ground who've been protesting against this long-standing arrangement have been saying, basically, why should our children be forced to go and serve in places like Gaza and in other areas of conflict where these others get these widespread exemptions?
Sarah, we were speaking of this just yesterday. Prime Minister Netanyahu saying a switch in strategy for the Israeli military, a change in focus away from Gaza towards the north, and a targeting Hezbollah, the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group. Washington urging Israel to end its campaign on that front. Any progress on that?
It is certainly, Wei-Su, a very, very dangerous situation. And right now, there are real fears that any kind of miscalculation on either side could potentially tip this area into a larger scale regional war that could bring in Iran. Now, of course, the Israeli Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, he remains in the United States. He's met with the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, who then underscored the importance of avoiding further escalation. Now, Gallant also met with this Biden top envoy, Amos Hochstein, who was here in the region just a week or so ago. He came out to say that Israel is preparing for every possibility within the military and also the political sphere. So, of course, a lot of pressure being put on Israel to really try and avoid this situation. But we do need to remember that this is both Israel and also Hezbollah. And over the past hour or so, red alert sirens have been activated in these largely evacuated northern communities on that border there with Lebanon, with projectiles fired over from southern Lebanon, and the Israeli military continuing to strike what it is calling Hezbollah infrastructure in southern Lebanon. So, as I said, a very, very dangerous situation as these tit-for-tat cross-border strikes only appear to intensify.
Thanks. Sarah Coates reporting live from Tel Aviv.